Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DBR on CBR. That's right, it is time for your favorite time of the week and mine. It is time for Dragon Ball Rewatch, and we hope you are watching along with us on Hulu and or Crunchyroll, and we hope you are reading along with us in the Viz Media translation of the manga. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John. Episode 38, 5 Murasakis. Japan got this November 12th, 1986. Americans, February 22nd, 2002. We're adapting 2 chapters, the 4.5, the Tatami Mat Flip, and the Ninja Split, which sounds like a charming dance trend.
John, like you were alluding to last week, we get a total nothing burger resolution to our cliffhanger from last week.
Yeah. No one can survive a boomerang to the back of the head. Don't know, man. Like, I get it, he's not met Goku before, but we saw Major Metaltron last episode. I think he could survive a boomerang to the back of the head. I think Android 8 could survive a boomerang to the back of the head. I just don't think Murasaki's very good with his boomerang.
Maybe they have off buttons on the back of their head. Maybe that's what he's thinking.
We're presuming this fool can target his shots, though, which...
I'm also, I have to bring this up from last week again. Are we sure Ninja Murasaki is as lethal as he makes himself out to be?
I don't think so. I'm getting the feeling that like Murasaki is somebody who like General White just kind of knew from college or something, and he's just like, "Yo, I got a job for you. You have like a really intense accent. Let's make it work."
Yeah, like he went to the boss, like, look, my mate Dave, he's on some hard times. Take it out of my wage. He just needs something. It's this or the streets.
Yeah, like because Metalotron, I'm guessing like he took care of everything anyway. So it's not like Murasaki really was doing much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that would explain why it's the indoor forest. He just has a lot of time for gardening.
Yeah.
I presume the Fist of the North Star sequence is more of a this is what Murasaki thinks he is in his head, not exactly like what has happened in the past.
I like that idea that this is just like his internal monologue about himself. Oh, okay. There is a concept in Japan for like middle school boys who I think it's called like chunibayo or something like that, where they believe that they are the protagonist of a shonen anime. Like it's a thing, and there are like multiple characters in anime who you see with this trait, but I think Murasaki might be that guy.
So it's like literal main character syndrome.
It's literally main character syndrome, where you think you have special powers and you're like the third son of the Demon King or something like that.
Yeah. Deku themed Jerusalem syndrome.
Just waiting for that, waiting for that Isekai story prompt to kick in, which means you have to get like sucked into a game or like hit by a truck.
A truck's on. No, not again.
One of those is much easier depending where you live.
Golly, the one scene that doesn't really work for me, I mean, or that you could argue there's a lot, but there's the one scene that doesn't quite feel right is when Goku is noticeably concerned fighting the 5 Murasakis, like he's falling over the roof and everything, and it's just like, dude, you know how much of a clown one of these guys is. Like, even after you realize it's not an after image, it's like you shouldn't be phased. You're faster, you're stronger, you should be okay.
Yeah, even if it is an after image, just hit all of them. Like you've shown you can do crowd control. You've done it before. Just swing for all of them, and one of them will eventually go, ow.
Yeah.
I think this is also I think the thing that I'm starting to kind of notice about this arc in comparison to others is like it's still feeling like Goku is having less and less of a good time as he goes up this battle tower. And I think that might kind of be part of the energy of these episodes where it's like Goku's not having a good time, so it's kind of hard for us to have a good time with these fights. I think that might be part of it.
Yeah. I think another part for me is I realized watching this episode why the last episode bugged me so much. And it's not just that Goku's lost his motivation, it's that Murasaki has no motivation. Why is Murasaki playing games? Like, why is he acting like a toddler? Because like they're sort of like the cowardly heel kind of thing, which, yeah, that's common in shonen. But he's not acting like that. He's like constantly like trying to play hide and seek. He's doing the weird thing with the fish. It's like if you're like cowardly, run away. If you're not cowardly, fight. Why are you jumping back and forth here?
It feels like Murasaki's in the wrong anime. Like, if he were in like Lupin the Third or something in that kind of genre, like he has such a Zenigata vibe to him, but is somehow less competent than Inspector Zenigata. Like he feels like an outdated character in an anime from the 80s.
I find funny you say that because when they brought the brothers in and one pulled the revolver, my note is literally this is a Lupin twist. Like you totally see that in like a Lupin mission where it's like I can beat a ninja and the ninja pulls a gun. That's just like something that would happen. I will say it does fit when he goes to Doctor Slump.
Yeah.
If he fits there perfectly. He does feel like we just brought a Doctor Slump character over, which is fine, but we've made him a villain, so
Yeah, no, he's definitely like I feel like a holdover from, the same kind of sensibilities that Toriyama has with Dr. Slump. Um, just like, okay, and I feel he doesn't have as much of a presence. Obviously, the anime is going to stretch it out as it's wont to do. Whereas he's only around for like a 2.5 chapters or so in the manga. It's like, oh no, let's this guy's got a pretty cool design. Let's have Goku take on a ninja, and it's like, but you don't have to do that, or at least as long as you do.
Yeah.
this works so much better in the manga. It's much more rapid fire.
Yeah,
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 I think if there was less going on, maybe, or like maybe if this were like if this were all in one episode, I think I'd be a little bit warmer to it now. And I feel bad because I genuinely remember liking this arc, but now I'm starting to wonder if I was just a dumb kid. But my biggest issue with Murasaki is, like we were saying, is that he feels so out of place. And then what happens is that when he interacts with General White, it also kind of takes General White out of place, which really quick, we got to talk about General White's ever-changing accent because he's French now. Like,
See,
yeah.
this episode won me over on it because I like the ethic. Why do one accent when you can do all of them?
do every accent. Like, I love because we had that theory, I think last week, where it was like this voice actor really was regretting the accent and now he's trying to like get the off ramp.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thankfully we'll be done with General White in like less than 5 episodes, but yeah, he's like, "Oh, I've made a choice." And well, like, hey, whoever directed Funimation's Drive was Sunny Strait or Chris Sabat or whoever, just like was it a Russian one last time? It's like, yeah, it was like vague Eastern European, which is now kind of, crossing the Maginot line inch by inch, but yeah. It's,
It just
I mean,
like all of a
at
sudden I
least
looked up
this
and he sounded like Pepe Le Pew.
yeah, at least this time they've turned the intercom off between the booth and the production area. No horrible audio issues this episode, which is great.
Yeah.
Which I just love. It's got to be something because always coming up when there's someone doing a bad accent. It's got to be linked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but it does make White look a bit weird because next episode we see him again, like we get a bit of a moment with him, and he goes like full proper villain again. He's like, oh, Red Ribbon Army made you. But then we're at the same time meant to pretend he's playing around with this dumb ninja boy. Like you joked last time, it's a crush. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Like this is totally like the office hire because the boss has a thing for them.
Yeah, there's something weird about the relationship between Murasaki and I'm assuming General White knows about his brothers. Like he'd have to know that the brothers exist, right? There's something weird going on here, and I'm pretty sure that Murasaki is dating the boss and everybody knows about it. Like it has to be.
Which Murasaki?
All of them. It's
Ooh.
like Nana 7 of 7. They all keep swapping in and out.
Oh, or it's like Orin High School Host Club, except it's all the twins.
Fruits Basket. Or the quintessential quintuplets.
Could be Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah.
I'm realizing this is a plot point that's coming more anime than I thought it did.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just gonna keep going.
I love the brothers joke. The thing you were saying earlier, this would have been better as one episode. If you restructured these 2 episodes into one episode, there's a really good through line for a gag here of like him being threatening for a bit, then Goku slowly realizing there's 5 of them, And then the punchline at the end is Goku realizing, oh, it's not magic. They're 5 different people. And then Goku gets the advantage from that by being able to go, well, I'll just split them off and fight them all.
Yeah.
There's a great gag and through line there that has Murasaki as both a threat who is worth spending time on and a punchline villain. But they don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's, like I was saying, watching Goku panic. I mean, it's one thing to realize it's not an after image, but like they play it out a little the gag too long. It's like, just give us Android 8, man. Just give us Android 8.
Just give us
And
Ader.
he's already had the pole shoved right up his bum. And I'm sorry, you can't try and portray a guy as a threat after him hopping around on all fours making frog noises. That's not how like villain aura works.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine even Frieza couldn't come back from that. Like there are certain, like, how threatening is King Piccolo if you shove a pole up his ass and he starts like croaking like a frog? It's not you can't do it. It's not
At
happening.
least Piccolo's green. It's slightly less humiliating. Oh, also,
Slightly less.
Joe, the brothers are all named.
They are?
They're named in the Adventure Special, names them all as Kon, Akka, Now, and Cha, which is actually a really fun joke because they're all colors, which all blend together to make purple, and Murasaki is purple. So it is technically foreshadowing. It would be foreshadowing if they actually said the names in the show, but they don't. You have to buy the Adventure Special that came out in like 3 months.
So make sure you all go to eBay and buy the Adventure Special.
Or don't, because it puts it up for me when I want to buy it.
I will say we do get some spectacular faces in the manga as the Murasakis are steadily defeated.
Yeah.
The bulging eyes. Every time he does the bulging eyes, it's just
it's so funny and it looks so good. It's just, man, like, come on. I feel like Murasaki just got dragged out too long.
Yeah.
That is entirely at the head. There's all these like little jokes in here I like, but they're just structured poorly.
Yeah. Everything is just paced weird. Thankfully we kind of moved past that. In terms of designs, what do we think of Android 8 other than the obvious Boris Karloff Frankenstein monster?
Oh, we'll get to that next episode, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I actually really like Android 8's design. I think because we already had Metallatron, who was like very much a movie reference, and then we get another movie reference android. I really like that. And the thing I really like about this particular design is that for anybody who's actually read Frankenstein, like, it serves as some good foreshadowing because of the monster in the Frankenstein novel originally is not a violent character. He is a person who is longing for the understanding of his creator. The modern day Prometheus is the idea, right? And I love the idea that if you know Frankenstein, you know the tragedy of Frankenstein by looking at him. And then we get to know Ader, and there is something kind of similar in that. So I actually really like that fact.
Yeah, I've got in my notes next episode, and we'll come back to it, is that this is ironically one of the more accurate Frankenstein adaptations. It covers the book character much better, which is funny because it's not a very good version of Karloff. It's based on Karloff, but it's not like any like the book, how the book describes him. Yeah. But it's a fun combo. But Toriyama definitely had a thing for the Universal monsters. We'll come to it because he brings them up several other times.
Yeah.
And I think some of the later androids sort of have a bit of a bride thing going on. I like it. I do find it funny that we have our cuts to Suno, which are added here. Suno is still here, everybody. Don't worry. She's still here saying the same 4 sentences over and over again like a broken doll.
If anything, it completely undercuts the sense of urgency. Like, yes, we get, and they did the same thing, earlier with some of the Colonel Silver stuff, but yes, we do get to see the village chief briefly.
Oh,
one of the motivators for Goku was, I'm going to rescue the chief and your dad. Hey, look, everybody, it's Suno's dad.
Yay!
fine. He's back home and fine.
He looks like the detective from Tintin for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he does look like the detective, the twin detectives.
Inspector, detector, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
no, the
detective.
inspect, not the twins, the gruffer looking chap.
Oh yeah, the other guy.
I
Oh my
can't do
God,
a
he
bit of
does.
while since I read Tintin.
Yeah, the Captain Man. But yeah, it's why bring back Sano's dad when we're only halfway through Muscle Tower?
And why have them basically again say what we did? Also, I get what they're doing. There's a monster in Muscle Tower. Okay. The problem is how they phrase that in the dub ruins the tension because it makes it sound like he meant Metallo. Because all the stuff he says is stuff we've seen Metallo doing, which maybe they were hoping it was like a subversion. And you think, oh, Goku's already beaten him, all new monster. But it's just so clumsy. And Sano is just repeating the same. Like, I get it, she's a kid, but we don't need you to go back to her every episode to hear her go, I'm worried about Goku. Yes, sorry, I understand anime that characters still exist when I'm not seeing them.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to have object permanence. Like that, there's no expectation of object permanence in these episodes, and I think that it's like I feel like so much earlier in Dragon Ball they were so willing to believe in the intelligence of their target demographic, which is young boys. But I feel like it's almost undermining that like understanding of their intelligence with the Suno stuff.
Even with the village chief stuff, because the village chief scenes I have all sorts of thoughts about because I like the bit they have where he's talking with the guard and they have the thing of like, oh, the boy's gonna be smashed into a million pieces. And you have the thing of like, oh, your army fights children. Well, didn't your village have any men? That's a brilliant piece of dialogue.
It's a
That
great line.
underlines how threatening Red Ribbon are in that they will kill a child. You know, basically, we've seen them shooting people. They are so threatening, it makes the sort of the village elder situation look dire. And then they do, oh, Coco. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's such a bad joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those filler things, just like these small filler moments where it's just like, okay, man. Like, and this isn't exclusive to the Funimation thing. This is something that was in the original Japanese broadcast. So as much as we like to rag on the dub sometimes, this was always there.
This was the plan.
Also, the village elder totally had the dog guard.
Yeah.
Like, he had him by the neck. He could have literally just gone throw and run.
Yeah.
Then again, his cell doesn't have a window, it has bars. So he's got what frostbite. That's based on Northern Canada. When it gets to -50, you have about 5 minutes exposure before frostbite kicks in. So
Yeah.
probably Goku might want to stop playing with the piranhas and get a move on while he still has a nose.
Can we talk about the piranha joke really quick?
We can.
Because I actually kind of enjoyed that whole like scientific designation thing with Murasaki, and I'm kind of curious if that was also in the Japanese. Like that whole I'm not gonna pretend I remember what the Latin genus and species are for piranha, but like that whole thing, and the voice actor managed to squeeze it in really well. So I'm kind of curious if that is a dubism.
I can tell you that the family of piranhas is Serasilmide, and the genius is Pyrocentrus. I was curious, so I looked it up. Apparently, it's changed since the 80s, though, so it may be wrong now in the dub.
The pool is always, or pond is always full of piranha, but in the manga, he just says it, right? He doesn't show him with the fish or whatever. He's just like, oh, by the way, like he does his weird water skate things across, and he's like, good luck. There's like this thing's full of piranhas, and Goku's just like, okay, and just jumps over. Whereas in the anime, he's like, what are piranha?
Pajamas?
Yeah.
It read like such an Austin Powers joke, if that makes sense. Like it felt like a very Mike Myers style of joke.
Yeah, it had a sort of a bit the Abbott and Costello's as well. Like whenever they would do shouting things, get this, this, no, this, you idiot. Again, it would have been fun to have that like not when the village elder is dying.
Yeah. It's, I mean, this entire Muscle Tower is a weird beast. I still stand by my statement a couple weeks ago that Major Metallotron for me is the highlight because just get that one and done, baby. We don't need to stretch this out. Because we're not quite done with Murasaki yet. I mean, we're close. At least in terms of him actively being a part of the story. We're close to him being done. But yeah, a lot of these gags are just stretched out. There's a lot of filler stuff with the snow sequences. And there was part of me that was like, oh, this probably played better watching this week to week. And then it dawned on me, Sam, in this rewatch, you are watching it week to week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting the full TV experience.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting the Japanese children experience. We're not getting the Americans because they've had to have waited several months to get to this point because they had the break before the arc started.
Yeah. No, but I remember watching Toonami. I remember watching new episodes of Dragon Ball like once a week for, or not once a week, once a day for like 5 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Before Funimation ran out of episodes they had dubbed and then would go back and then restart.
The old 52 episode special.
Yeah.
American broadcast history.
Well, how many
Gosh,
times have you seen the Raditz fight?
have you seen the Raditz fight? Have you seen the Raditz fight 13 times? Because I did.
Yeah.
Do you, I just really quick flashback moment. How disappointed were you as a kid every time when you'd be like, oh man, we're gonna finally fight Frieza, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, this time on Dragon Ball Z, we're seeing Goku with his son Gohan. It's like, again?
For me, I think the longest break, we've been talking about the break in Dragon Ball, but the longest break in Z during Funimation's initial broadcast run was the break right after Vegeta kills himself fighting Buu. And it was just,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
what they had next time on Dragon Ball Z, so you saw Buu survive, and it was just like, okay. And so it was months, but yeah, I mean, watching Dragon Ball date like 5 episodes a day, and I always think of the line, Master Roshi's line, because it kicked off the bump with Tom hitting the buttons with, I'm gonna make both of you my students from this day forward. Yeah. Like, so that always, but I remember watching Muscle Tower when it first aired on Toonami and just being like, this is a grind. Because all of that pace, all of that beautiful pace that we had with the tournament, and again, I'm biased because I love the tournament stuff, it kind of goes out the window because they drag everything out. And again, that's no fault of Funimation. That's just how the anime series adapted all this. They stretched out, they introduced Silva early, stretched that out. They introduced Murasaki early, by which he just hangs out with General White in their love nest, and then they stretched that out.
Do you think I think it's the thing. I also think we've lost sort of a long-term target a bit.
Yeah.
I know our current goal is rescue the chief, but that's clearly not what the end of this arc is going to be. The arc is clearly, we've had Red set up. Clearly, even as a child, I knew we're going to be fighting Red because he's the Blofeld. We're going to have to kill him. Yeah. But Red's vanished. There doesn't seem to be any direction to how getting to White will then lead to getting to Red. It just leads to getting the village elder back. It's kind of that sort of a never-ending fetch quest feel that a lot of anime from the 2000s ended up with we've got to go find X number of things. My brain, it's not an anime, went immediately to the Jackie Chan TV show you used to have where they were collecting whatever the hell their magical
Jackie Chan Adventures when they were collecting the talismans.
They kept doing the thing of like, we have them all. They've all been stolen.
Yeah.
It's the Inuyasha problem, right? Yes. Like, it is the Inuyasha problem. And I think I mentioned this like many episodes ago. Don't trust an anime that doesn't tell you how many things it needs to collect. But this feels like a side quest in a DLC. Like, that it's part of what's going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're really only here because you need the extra experience because the DLC bosses are harder.
It's General White was always a speed bump. Like John was saying, we know who our big bad or presumed big bad is for this saga. This basically seasons 2 and 3 of Dragon Ball, but it's just like, okay, man.
we've said it before. I also think it's that separation from that first episode when Goku arrives here. You have the military everywhere. You have them going into houses. They're using slave labor.
Yeah.
Goku, this tower feels so separate from that.
Yeah.
Like, it feels that Goku probably should be on the ground. Because what's General White doing? Like, he is evil, don't get me wrong, but he's just sitting there cackling and next episode playing Pac-Man. Goku feels like he should be on the ground at the front of Suno's village, kicking anyone who comes close. It just feels like he's abandoned everybody on this bizarre wild goose chase that.
Well, and the action high point is him annihilating all the soldiers right outside of Muscle Tower and in Muscle Tower. And then it's like, cool, now you must get through my like game of death lieutenants. And it's just like, okay. Metalotron, again, I love the Metalotron fight because, and Alyx kind of made this allusion earlier, because Goku enjoys that fight. He's like, yo, you're really strong. Let's party. I'm gonna blow your head off.
Very chill.
When he doesn't enjoy fighting Murasaki, we don't enjoy him fighting Murasaki because it's like, yeah, this dude is annoying. This dude does drag stuff out and fight dirty, and it doesn't. There is no, to John's point at the beginning of the episode, there is no genuine sense of peril. It's just like, yo, we're on the clock. Let's TikTok. Let's do this.
See, and also, go ahead.
Oh no, you go first.
I was saying, I've also realized we haven't had like a new move debut for a while either. Like, Goku hasn't fought like against Metalotron. We saw him fighting a bit differently because he had to keep going through him, and he did the flying headbutt. But this fight, Goku isn't really doing anything new. He's dodging around. He's smacking with the power pole. He's doing after images, which we've already seen. I think that's part of the reason I'm now realizing why this feels drawn out for me. This fight is no different to a load of the other like Tiger Bandit fights we've seen in the first arc. This doesn't feel like a new fight. It feels like, oh, here's the hits of Goku doing all of his moves again. He's learned the back forward A combo, and he's going to keep using it until it stops working.
He's very good at it. I think part of the joy of Dragon Ball is seeing its characters get stronger. Whether it's training for a tournament, unlocking a new combat transformation or a technique or whatever. Goku doesn't get a Zenkai boost or any kind of boost until like Mercenary Tao. So we're a way off.
Yeah.
Even without the boost, like against the Troopers, we saw him do the Snow Shark thing, which was a first time he's done that. Like, there was surely a way of giving him some new attack, or having him use a branch from a tree or something as a new stick would have been something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for me, the thing that I keep thinking about, right, is that this format of a shonen like arc can work really well, like this like climbing the tower thing, because I've mentioned it before. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho had the Saint Beast Tower, which it's not the best arc of Yu Yu Hakusho, but it is an excellent arc because Yu Yu Hakusho is just an excellent anime overall. But what makes it work is each floor is themed. They don't spend too long on each floor, and there's always something different happening. And I think part of the benefit that Yu Yu Hakusho has with its tower arc is not only that it's tighter, but there are multiple characters participating in the tower arc. Like, it's not just Yusuke, it's Yusuke and Kuwabara and Hiei and Kurama, so there's always something different. Because we're just with Goku, which I love being just with Goku, but in this setting, it feels much more limiting for Goku himself.
Yeah.
I was actually about to bring that up. I think Goku not having a friend in this arc, he has Suno, technically. He'll get Android 8 next episode. Spoilers for that. But having Goku on his own, Goku doesn't really have that much of an internal life at the moment. He's very childish, and he's either really excited and happy, or he's scared. And that doesn't really. He needs someone sort of be a grounding, emotional grounding, to push him forward or give him something to react to. Like, Goku's not a deep character, and that's fine. It does fit him, but this needed either a serious opponent for him or someone near him to sort of be playing it out. I had it in my notes. It's weird that they keep in this against Murasaki. Goku is being portrayed as the straight man to the comedy bits. Goku doesn't work as a straight man. The straight man needs to be grounded in the world and have a purpose that makes the sort of the comic one getting one over on them work. Same, we mentioned Abbott and Costello. That's how it works. Costello's always trying to get the job done to make money, while Abbott's like a man child who's always messing things up. It doesn't work. Goku doesn't rise to the situation.
Other
Way.
Yeah.
But
God damn it, Costello.
It's weird because Goku doesn't have any chemistry with anyone in this arc. Like, even he had chemistry with everybody he fought during the tournament arc. He even had chemistry with General Silver, like not Commander Silver. But I'm messing up the military ranks.
They do it as well.
They do as 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like there's no chemistry here for Goku to be playing off of. Even with Metallatron, like Goku was kind of making that chemistry. He doesn't have it with Murasaki.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd have it with White, because they sort of do tease at the start and they bring it up in the next episode where he's like, maybe I'll invite him to join. So, and he has the radio thing. One way to really boost his arc would have been to have White on the radio constantly, being like, come on, Goku, join Red Ribbon. Sort of almost like the Darth Sidious kind of figure.
Make him Shodan. Literally make him Shodan from System Shock. That would be awesome.
Have him be someone who sort of grounds the whole thing of hey, Goku, look at this village. You like being strong. Look at them. They're all look at Tsuno's dad. He crumbled the second we put a gun in his face. Don't you want to be strong? Why are you defending these people? It would give Goku a chance to be emotional beyond haha or oh no.
But I think it's time for final thoughts, gentlemen. So who would like to start with their final thought on some more Murasaki time?
I'm glad that we're almost done with Murasaki time.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
How about you, John?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm very excited. Andrew Nembre, I think, is a great character. I do like how they do the sort of cliffhanger setup here. This is a cliffhanger that works because it subverts expectations. It actually does pay off in the episode. So I'm really excited. And yeah, I'm so glad we're out of ninja comedy. I'm not a fan of ninja comedy.
We're just gonna have to wait for ninja comedy for when Naruto rolls around. But yeah,
I'm quitting before then.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm a little done with Murasaki time. I credit to the voice actor for trying to make this work and really playing up the comedy stuff. Genuine credit to him, but it's just too drawn out. But speaking of too drawn out and not drawn out enough, this is time for the end of our episode. That's right. It is time for the end of DBR on CBR for this week. That is Dragon Ball Rewatch. We hope you join us again next week. And if you join us again next week, we hope you're watching along on Hulu and or Crunchyroll. And we hope you are reading along in the Viz Media translation of the manga. Let's work those critical thinking skills. Literacy rates in America are dropping. So once again, we have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time on Dragon Ball. Bye-bye.